Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope everybody is doing well. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. On today's menu we are making NKATEB3, also known as peanut butter soup and palmnut soup combined. Yes, that's what we're making today, so stay tuned. Let's get started. I'm gonna start by cooking my goat meat. You could use any meat of your choice. And these are my ginger and onion cubes. All I do is blend the ginger and onion, put them in ice tray and freeze them. It saves a lot of time. And this is my goat seasoning. You could use any seasoning of your choice. Add a little bit of water and let this cook for about 10 minutes. So while that is cooking, we're going to start working on our peanut paste. This is 1 cup of peanut butter. I pour that into an empty bowl. I'm going to add water to it and mix it. And this is the brand of peanut butter that I use. You could use any brand of your choice. I use 1 cup of this. So I added about 1.5 cup of water to the peanut butter. I'm gonna mix this till everything is well mixed. Usually when I'm making just peanut butter soup, I'll just put this in the blender, add my tomato paste and just blend everything together. But since I'm making palmnut soup and peanut butter, I prefer using my hand because I'm not adding tomato paste to this one. Also, the reason why sometimes I put them in the blender is the peanut butter is not always that smooth. There's always like a bit of peanuts in it. So when you put it in the blender, it makes it really smooth. I added about 1 more cup of water to it. And this is how you want the consistency to look like. Now we're going to check on our goat meat. This has been cooking for about 10 minutes now. I'm going to give this a stir and I'm going to add my peanut butter mix to it. Yeah, so I like to sieve this part. As I said, it's not always smooth with the peanut butter. So I like to sieve it to get rid of the little bit of peanuts in it. But if I had blended it, I wouldn't have sieved it because that will make it really smooth with the blender. And if you look at it really closely, you could see a little bit of peanuts in it. I'm going to give this a stir, cover this and let this cook for about 7 minutes. In about 7 minutes later, this is how our peanut mix is looking like. It got thicker. At this point, you don't want to cover, you want to keep stirring till there's oil on top. And in some few minutes later, you see the oil on top. That is how you want your peanut mix to look like. Usually when I'm cooking my regular peanut butter soup, I'll cook the meat separate, the peanuts separate, and later on I'll pour the peanuts on top of the meat. But when I learned this process of cooking the peanut butter and the meat together, trust me, it brings a lot of flavor to the soup. And you see all that oil? That is exactly what you're looking for. When you see that, that means your peanut is well cooked. So at this point, we're just stirring up a little bit. We're going to cover it and we're going to head to our palm nuts. And this is our 1 cup of Palmnut cream. I use this brand. Remember, you could use any brand you prefer. So I'm going to pour this into an empty bowl, add some water to it, mix it like we did the peanuts, and we're going to pour it back into our soup. As simple as ABC. I'm pouring in some warm water just to melt the cream. I'm going to mix this well, and after mixing this, I want this to sit a little bit. And I'll tell you the reason why later on. I added more water to it. As I said, after mixing this is going to sit for about 5 minutes and I'm going to pour it back into the peanuts. It's now time for us to pour our palmnut mix into our peanut mix. And you see that black thing? Yeah, this is the reason why you want your palm nut to sit a little bit and all settles at the bottom. Sometimes I like to strain my palm nuts because sometimes there's this little black things, and I'll show you at the end of straining it. If you look close, yeah, this is the reason why sometimes I like to strain it. That little black thing, no, I don't want that in the soup. Now that we mix our peanut and palm nut together, we are halfway done. I'm now adding my pre-cooked cow food. I like to pre-cook my cow food before adding to the soup because it takes forever for cow food to be done. So I always like to pre-cook it first, then add it to the soup. I give this a stir. I'm now gonna add my tomatoes, my onions, and pepper to it. After putting my vegetable to it, I'm like, oh my god, this looks so colorful, right? Yeah, that is some colorful soup. I'm gonna cover this and let the vegetables cook till they are tender. So in about 5 to 7 minutes, our tomatoes, onions, and peppers are ready. I'm gonna take them out and I'm gonna blend it and pour it back into the soup. So now I'm going to pour in my blended tomatoes, onions, and pepper to it. I rinse my blender with some water and pour it back into the soup. It's soup, so you want to make it a little bit lighter. So it's time for my fish to go into the soup. I have my baked mackerel and my smoked turkey. Remember, you could add any fish of your choice, any meat of your choice. I'm now adding my shrimp tablets. You could use any seasoning of your choice. I give this a stir and I want to check for the salt content. I always like to add my shrimp tablet before adding salt because that also has a little bit of salt in it. So now I'm adding my salt to it. So my soup have been cooking for about 25 to 30 minutes now. The soup wasn't spicy enough for me, so I added more scotch bonnet pepper for some spiciness. So since I'll be eating this soup with some Konkonte, some face the wall, I need some easy to swallow, and that is my okra. I'm adding some okra to it because that pairs a lot with some Konkonte. Yeah, if you know, you know. I'm gonna cover this and let this cook for additional 10 to 15 minutes. And our soup is done. Look how beautiful that looks. Guys, if you haven't tried the mixture of palm nut and peanut together, please try it, and I know you're gonna love the taste. As I said, I had this soup with some Konkonte. If you don't know Konkonte and Fufu are like siblings. They come from the same mother, that is cassava. You could have this soup with some fufu, you could have it with some banku, you could have it with some eba, you could even have it with some rice or rice balls or yam or plantain. Anything you prefer, you are good to go. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please give this recipe a try if you haven't had this soup before. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Until I come your way next time, this is Cook with Nakie. Be good to yourself, be good to everybody. It goes a long way.